A federal judge has temporarily barred President Trump from sending National Guard troops into Chicago, saying, quote, "I have seen no credible evidence that there is a danger of a rebellion in the state of Illinois." The Biden-appointed judge's assertion comes as the federal government points to a myriad instances of violence against ICE officers. Take a look at this. We'll scroll it. Just a few of these episodes stand out in the court filing. These are just a few of many. Federal officers were assaulted with rocks, bricks, pepper spray, incendiary devices, damaged federal property, blocked means of ingress and egress, rammed occupied law enforcement vehicles off the road, slashed tires, threatened and doxed officers, break-ins at the homes of officers, and a $10,000 bounty on the head of a Border Patrol tactical commander. All those incidences of violence, but the judge appeared to distrust the government's assertion, noting this, quote, "DHS's perception of events are simply unreliable." But is it really just a DHS perception? Remember this? It happened just last Saturday. During a routine patrol, Border Patrol agents were allegedly attacked, rammed by vehicles, and boxed in by 10 cars. Now, according to DHS, the officers exited their trapped vehicles when a suspect tried to run them over, forcing the officers to fire defensively. And as that was happening, this order went out.
So the Chief of Patrol, clear everybody up. We're not responding over there.
And again, per the Chief of Patrol, we have all the units that per 999, Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
Chicago police claim that allegation of a stand-down order is absolutely not true, but the incident nevertheless speaks to the increasingly dangerous situation for federal law enforcement, a situation being stoked by local Democratic officials.
Trump and the thuggery that his agents have brought has actively made us less safe.
The right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. The order establishes ICE-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
Let's bring in former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo. Professor Yoo, great to have you. I want to pull up page 11 of the court filing from the federal government in the Chicago case. They say this: over the last 2 weeks, DHS has seen more arrests of individuals with semi-automatic weapons who have assaulted, obstructed, or impeded federal agents to Chicago than in Los Angeles over the last 4 months. And as you'll remember, that appeals court overturned the district court in LA. So where do you think the situation stands in Chicago?
Kaylee, great to be with you. All you have to do is believe what you see with your eyes. The video you just showed is sufficient evidence for the federal government to go in, send troops to protect federal officers, federal property, and enforce valid federal law. No one is claiming that the federal government, under the law, is not allowed to go out and remove aliens who are here in the country illegally. What you saw on the video there, what you read in the ICE reports, what you see in the news media is that people are trying to stop the enforcement of federal law under laws passed by Congress. President Trump doesn't even need to claim yet that he's acting under the Constitution. Under laws passed by Congress, power given to him by Congress, he's allowed to send troops to protect the federal government and carry out the laws that Congress has passed. I was very struck by that language there from the mayor who says they want to refight the Civil War. Well, who were the people in the Civil War who are trying to prevent federal law from being enforced? The Confederacy. Who were the people after Brown versus Board of Education who tried to prevent, right, equality amongst the races? It was the southern states. It is sad to hear the city of Chicago relying on the very same arguments as those disgraced leaders in the Civil War and in the civil rights movement.
Yeah, that pesky thing called history that you know very well, Professor Yoo. I also want to ask you about Letitia James. She, of course, was indicted on those mortgage fraud charges. Letitia James had this tweet. I want to pull it up. She said, "For years, Donald Trump engaged in massive fraud to unjustly enrich himself." She goes on. "He may have authored the art of the deal, but he perfected the art of the steal." She goes on to talk about mortgage fraud and defrauding loan banks and how important it is to prosecute these cases. Your thoughts on that case?
First, no one should doubt that President Trump has the authority under the Constitution to decide who to prosecute or not. The Constitution gives him the duty alone to take care the laws are faithfully executed. What people are complaining about is that this seems like two small potatoes to go after the Attorney General of New York. But let's keep in mind, she and her allies like DA in Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, and the Biden Justice Department launched lawfare. They tried to drive President Trump out of the race by using concocted, weightless, really, really poor cases and prosecutions. I think the only way that we can stop this kind of lawfare from ruining the country, unfortunately, is for President Trump to have to use the same tactics back on Democrats to teach them a lesson so they will stop.
Professor John Yoo, thank you as always for your expertise.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.